This is one of the most pretentious short movies I've ever seen in my life that doesn't try to be anything more than messages thrown in so randomly it will have you scratching your head. That said, I started to cry. Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of The Boy, The Mole, The Fox, and The Horse. Yeah, that's quite a title. sounds like a party at a furry convention. It's a short film that came out in 2022 and it's based on the book of the same name. I've honestly never read the book or even knew of its existence until this movie, and I have been meaning to watch it for so long and, well, just didn't. It's as simple as that, just didn't. This movie seems to follow pretty close to the book, even its water paint kind of art style seems to come directly from the books. And let me tell you, this animation is breathtaking. The backgrounds, the characters, it all just looks beautiful. Most of the film takes place in snowy mountains, but whenever it moves away from that a little, it can just look simply gorgeous. It is a beautiful movie. And then you add the music on top of it, it is just a feast on the senses. So this movie follows a boy who is lost in the snow, and out pops a mole who looks like a car standing up with a triangle for a face. But whatever. And the boy wants to find a home, not necessarily his home though, like there's no talk about him having a family. Like, this movie is very much a self-help movie. I'm going to guess the book is kind of like a self-help book as well. That's very much what it comes off as. And I feel like it's probably good for people with anxieties and depression like myself. So this movie hit me like a truck. It hit me like a train. It was a bit much. I really kind of needed it now. I have been under so much stress lately. Things have been just crazy for me, and just so much. I'm to the point I'm actually gonna go to therapy soon, which is going to be very fun to pay for. If anyone wants to help, my coffee and PayPal's down below, very much helpful, because, yay, it's going to cost a bit, but I kind of at that point, so I kind of needed this right now. So the mole does seem to be kind of brave and shows kindness, while also being greedy for cake. He really wants cake. That's just kind of one of his main character plot points things, is he really wants cake.
If at first you don't succeed, have some cake.
I see. Does it work?
Every time.
Yeah, if you want to end up like me and have a belly, if you want to end up like that, that would definitely work. They later rescue a fox who earlier tried to eat them. He then pays them back by rescuing the mole later, and then just kind of follows behind them for most of the movie, which I find kind of adorable. Eventually they come across a horse who seems really old and wise, who, for example, gives this line.
What's the bravest thing you've ever said?
Help. Asking for help isn't giving up. It's refusing to give up.
You probably have seen now on TikTok, as a lot of people like to share scenes from this movie. The problem is, sometimes these messages are thrown in so randomly, like that one is, and one where the mole asks the boy this.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Kind.
It's kind of randomly done. And that's fine in book form. I'm sure it perfectly works fair as a little book thing. I'm sure it does. But I feel like in a short movie or just movie kind of format, they needed to do it much more smoother and lead into the question rather than just forward in. That's generally my only problem with it, because it was a nice ride. Like I said, the animation is just beautiful. There's some scenes that I just didn't want to look away from. It just looks so beautiful, with some beautiful backgrounds and lovely ideas and messages when it doesn't feel necessarily forced in, because this is basically just a short movie that has just a ton of messages. It is just, again, a self-help kind of thing. It's just so many messages, and that's kind of all it really is, which isn't a bad thing, because there will be at least one or two messages that might click with you. Like the mole saying the greatest freedom is how we react to things. Do we help someone in need or not? We have the freedom to kind of choose. But then it's the reaction from it, you know? If they come across a horse and the boy plays with a horse, and it's just a gorgeous, smooth animation scene, and it's just utterly adorable. And the boy saying that doing nothing with friends is not really doing nothing at all. Like, yeah, that's true enough. Now, that's a message I can get behind. But what really hit me is the fox. The fox is me. I really just, with the fox character. He was so me.
The fox never really speaks.
No. And it's lovely he's with us.
Like, I hope people feel that way about me, basically. Like, I very much saw myself as this fox in the story. Like, that meant a lot to hear. That really meant a lot to me. As in real life, I am so quiet. I am a very quiet person, and I hate it. I hate being so quiet. I don't know what it is. It's just, obviously it's an anxiety thing, but I am way too quiet. Way too quiet. I am that person who kind of just sits there and like everyone's trying to have a conversation. I'm just kind of there. And I'm so sorry. I really am. Obviously, you know, I make these videos. I am talkative and all that. I can't do it in real life, and I don't know why. It hurts so much. It really does, and I just can't get things out. So I hate being that person who's just there. I feel like an inconvenience. Like, there's people I've known for over a decade, and I barely talk to them. I probably haven't gotten out 1,000 words to these people, because how little I speak. Again, I just don't know what it is. But the fox says something that, again, hit me.
To be honest, I often feel I've got nothing interesting to say.
And to me, it really is me. And Horse says being honest is always interesting. It really did hit me, and I hate that it did, but it did. Because I want people to understand, I don't mean to be quiet, I have nothing interesting to talk about. I'm so boring, you know, what do I have to talk about? I don't, and then, when a storm happens, it's very much a message about, like, stress, and, like, depression.
When the big things feel out of control, focus on what you love, right under your nose.
Oh, I like that.
That is very true. That is, you know, just kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, if you are stressing out and such, try not to think about it too much. Think about stuff you love. Do stuff you love. And that will kind of help with, like, the storm, you know? Like, the movie really was just made for me. Someone who does have so much anxiety that I fear humans and interactions and can barely talk. Like, the fox is so quiet, and so am I. Later, the fox is like, what I learned here is, you are loved. Which is a big message as well to the boy, is like telling him he is loved. That when you are alone, sometimes there are others that there will be there for you, and you have to realize that you aren't completely alone, and that you are loved. Even if it's you guys on YouTube and such, or like the commenters and all that. There are people out there who do love me, who have followed me for years, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I really, really am. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm very much a nobody, and I absolutely appreciate every single one of you who has stayed around for so long. There's people who have told me they've watched me from the start, and that's crazy. That's crazy, because of how bad I was at the start. But here you are still, and thank you guys. Absolutely. Oh, and the horse can fly. Yeah, turns out he's a Pegasus who, like, would hide himself because it made the other horses jealous. So he didn't. But the boy says he loves him if he can or can't fly. basically, like, is it a coming out part of the story? I don't know. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it, even though there was a rainbow before that kind of faded away, and then you get the sad horse scene, and it's like, it's not. But I feel like it could be interpreted as kind of thing. Like, I know it's not the message, but I'm taking it as such, because it's a nice message that should be in here. Like, I don't know, it just kind of comes across as it could be as a horse hid a part of himself away, and was finally able to reveal himself to those he loved. Props for Gay Horse. The idea of hiding something away from you. And it's like, yeah, it's because it made the other horses jealous, but you could say it's because they're happy to be open to who they are and all that. But other horses are like, no, you can't be like that. You can't, like, hide yourself, go away, kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of LGBT kind of thing. You know, I'm gonna include it as a gay story. I don't care. Gay horse, thank you. Which then the flying scene is absolutely beautiful. It did kind of remind me of like How to Train Dragon and some of the beautiful scenes I have in there. And it just gave me all the emotions with the music, the animation, the visuals are just so stunning. And I was absorbed into this short. And the voice acting as well. I haven't talked about voice acting yet. I know the fox is like Idris Elba. I know that one. I forgot the others. I apologize. I'm bad at a bad reviewer, bad critic, bad person. I apologize. I did remember that Idris Elba is the voice of the fox. But like, I don't know if they did something to the audio, but it sounds like an old cartoon, kind of old cartoonist stuff that I grew up on. And it really gives it another level of just something different. Like, it reminds me of like maybe like the old like Winnie the Pooh cartoons or something like that. I don't know. There's something with the audio they did there, and it's just interesting and just makes it sound more meaningful. But in the end, I realized I wasn't the fox. I was the boy, lost, nowhere to go, trying to find a home, but he realizes he was home all along. Home isn't walls. It isn't having a roof over your head. It's home isn't a place. It's somewhere where you're happy, somewhere you feel warm. Home isn't always somewhere physical. Home can just be friends. This movie did hit me in the feels, as it's something I needed, and so I kind of do recommend this movie to people. If they feel lost, you know, it was a nice watch. If you are feeling lost, if you're feeling a little bit of anxiety, I say give this a watch. It's kind of hard to rate this one because of what it is, but for what it is, I'm gonna give it a solid 9 out of 10 foxes. If those certain messages weren't forced in like they were, it would be a 10 out of 10. Like, the messages are fine, they were just kind of forced in suddenly, and like, it needed to be a little bit smoother. That's my only real complaint about it. There are a lot of good messages here that I think some people need to hear and take to heart. So yeah, let me know what you think down below, and like about this video, about the movie itself, if you've watched it or whatnot. Let me know. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel, because I'll love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and this fox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now.